If there's one Porsche that makes both guys and girls stop in their tracks, it's this, the GT3 RS. This Porsche GT3 RS belongs to my friend, Matt. He was aiming for a sub 7-minute lap time at the Nürburgring when a small mistake turned his pride and joy into this, a seriously wrecked supercar. He entrusted the entire repair to me. As the car slowly rolled out of the trailer, you could see the scrapes along the body. The expensive magnesium wheels had significant scratches, and the front end was in even worse shape. The impact was so severe that all the airbags in the cockpit deployed. My friend has another race in just a few days, so we only have 24 hours to get this car back on the track. I started by assessing the damage. Just one of these carbon fiber doors costs £25,000 from the factory. With time being so tight, we didn't do a detailed inspection right away. We just pushed it into the workshop. I pulled out my computer and started the timer. My friend gave me one simple order. Money is not an issue, just get it fixed. With those words, I immediately got to work on the teardown. I could see the ceramic brake rotors were undamaged, but the front splitter was destroyed in the crash. On a GT3 RS, that is an incredibly expensive part. Luckily, a quick check of the chassis didn't reveal any major problems. Given the 24-hour deadline, I needed to find a set of magnesium wheels, fast. I managed to find a used set for £16,000. Next, I tried to start the engine, but there was no response. That's because when the airbags deploy, the ECU sends a signal to a pyrotechnic fuse to cut power to the starter motor, preventing the owner from restarting the car after a crash. Knowing this, I didn't waste any more time trying and moved straight to disassembly. We needed to remove both seats and the center console to get to the airbag control module. Just then, another friend arrived. A specialist I called in to help with the bodywork. As he peeled back the protective film, we discovered that the scraped-up door was actually completely unharmed underneath. That just saved my friend a cool £25,000. Now, all we have to fix is the rear quarter panel. But the main task right now was to strip all the damaged parts off the car to create a complete list of what needed to be replaced. With everyone pitching in, the wrecked dashboard was quickly removed. I found the location of the main power fuse. By now, 2.5 hours had already flown by, and there was a massive amount of disassembly left to do, including the seat belts, roll cage, and the deployed roof airbags. The removed seat belts were handed off to this lovely lady for repair. This kind of teamwork is essential for speeding up the process. With the roof airbags out, the interior was completely stripped. The dashboard also had to be fully disassembled, since the airbag had blown through it. We sent the main dash panel out to be restitched and repaired, while carefully storing the instrument cluster and other electronics. Now, we could remove the damaged fender and the destroyed front bumper. With all the damaged exterior parts off, I could finally get to the power fuse in the cabin. As soon as the old one was out, I had a new one ready to go. I tested it to make sure it worked before installing it. Next, we reinstalled the main dashboard support frame. This would save a huge amount of time later when it was time to put the repaired dash back in. We reconnected all the disconnected hoses and wiring harnesses.
With the initial prep work done, it was time for the body work. Since the Porsche GT3 RS has an aluminum body, the repair has to be done with extreme care to avoid compromising its structural integrity. After a lot of pushing, pulling, and hammering, the straightened panel was ready for sanding. Since we had already prepped the paint, there was no delay. We moved straight into spraying. After several coats of fresh paint, the damage was completely invisible. The body repair was a complete success. Up to this point, a full 6 hours had passed. Meanwhile, the dashboard was sent out for repair was being handled as a rush job. The full set of new airbags we ordered had also arrived. As the parts poured in, I dove back into the frantic installation process. The dashboard went in quickly, followed by the new airbags. Time continued to fly by. Working together, we got all the seat belts and airbags installed. Next was the front windshield. We were lucky to have such a big team and good connections. Just sourcing these parts would normally take days. We also installed the 2 new rear quarter windows as the originals were shattered by the deploying side airbags. With the new glass in, it was time to install the center console. The steering wheel was handed off to my father to sort out. Of course, I wasn't idle. I was busy checking the steering column. Thankfully, it wasn't damaged in the crash. Other members of the workshop team also pitched in, helping with tasks like installing the battery. With the steering wheel back in, it was time for the first startup attempt. When I hit the ignition, the engine just gave a brief response and died. The mood in the workshop instantly dropped. I tried a second time. This time, the engine roared to life. The car could now move under its own power, and the instrument cluster was working normally again. We only had 14 hours left. But thankfully, the remaining tasks were mostly reassembly, which was much easier. The whole family worked together seamlessly. I was in charge of installing the front air intakes, while my dad handled the rear light bar and the massive GT3 RS rear wing. The new fender had also arrived. We just had to install the fuel filler neck before mounting it on the car. The new headlights were delivered as well, so the damaged originals could be retired. The only salvageable parts were the lighting modules, which we transferred over. My dad also started assembling the new front bumper. Our team was working like a well-oiled machine, each person with a clear task. As they pieced together the front bumper, only 9 short hours remained, but as each part went on, the GT3 RS was slowly but surely coming back together. The last major missing piece was the rear windshield. After applying the adhesive, my dad and I carefully installed it together. Next came the roll cage and the driver and passenger seats. With those parts in, I plugged in the diagnostic tool to clear all the fault codes from the crash. When I started the engine again, you could see the excitement on my face. All of the error messages on the dash were gone. Now for the final step, swapping out the damaged wheels. The 16,000-pound used set had arrived. As you can see, they were in excellent condition, and each one already had a new tire mounted, which saved us a huge amount of time. All we had to do was bolt them on. And just like that, with 3 full hours to spare, we finished the battle ahead of schedule. Now for the delivery. The only thing I was nervous about was whether my friend would approve of the new wheels. As the car cover was slowly pulled back, my friend was speechless with excitement. He knew we didn't have much time, and he couldn't believe we had restored it to perfect condition in such a short window, something even a Porsche dealership couldn't have done. And with that, the complete rebuild of this Porsche GT3 RS is finished. For everyone watching, are you satisfied with this incredible repair speed?